Do you struggle with feeling well rested after a good night's sleep? Or with mental clarity, fat loss, or muscle building? If you're a wellness nut like me, stick around because we're going to talk about a wonderful mineral that plays a vital role in your body's key functions. Hint, that magic mineral is magnesium. In this episode, we're going to dive into the different types of magnesium, their benefits, and how you can begin to ensure you're getting enough of it in your daily diet. But before we get into this episode, I want to state that neither Alina nor I are medical professionals. We're speaking strictly from our own research and experience, and you should always consult your healthcare provider before starting any new supplementation or health protocol. Welcome to Tell Me More and Then Some.
I'm Alina.
And I'm Angeline.
Join us as we dive deep into the topics that fuel our conscious evolution and keep us learning as students of life.
We invite you to come along and share the ride. We hope you're empowered to learn and grow into the best and most authentic version of yourself. We're so happy you're here. Let's go.
Magnesium is a key factor in making several parts of the body run smoothly, including the heart, bones, muscles, and nerves. Without enough magnesium, these areas malfunction. This is summarized in research by the National Institute of Health, which finds that a magnesium deficiency or low magnesium diet leads to various health problems such as depression, migraines, cardiovascular disease, and type 2 diabetes, to name a few. And although you can get some magnesium from food, 75% of Americans do not meet the basic minimum or recommended daily intake requirements. As a result, magnesium deficiency can cause suboptimal performance and health concerns. So, what is magnesium? The mineral plays an important role in assisting more than 300 enzymes to carry out various chemical reactions in the body, such as building proteins in strong bones, regulating blood sugar and blood pressure, as well as supporting muscle and nerve functions. Magnesium also acts as an electrical conductor that contracts muscles and makes the heart beat steadily. There are several benefits of magnesium. It promotes better sleep and cognitive function, including mood regulation. It promotes a healthy stress and balanced inflammatory response. It supports metabolic health and weight loss in combination with exercise and diet. And it also supports heart health and blood pressure levels, as well as healthy blood sugar balance and insulin response. Magnesium can come from foods such as dark chocolate, avocado, nuts, tofu, seeds, whole grains, greens, bananas, and almonds. While there are plenty of foods that contain magnesium, today's soil is depleted, it's depleted of minerals, and therefore the crops and vegetables grown in that soil are not as mineral rich as they used to be, which is why you can also greatly benefit from supplementation.
There are several different types of magnesium, 9 to be exact, but today we'll focus on talking about the top 3 most common forms and their benefits. So first one is magnesium glycinate, which is also called magnesium bisglycinate, and that's the most common form. It's a combination of magnesium and the amino acid glycine. This one is linked with deep and restorative sleep, and research shows that it can promote a steady state of relaxation. They had a double randomized clinical study where 46 individuals over the age of 60, they received 500 milligrams of magnesium for 8 weeks. And there was a significant improvement in their sleep compared to the placebo group. The magnesium group fell asleep faster, they stayed asleep longer, and they had better sleep quality. They also produced more melatonin, a nighttime hormone involved in the sleep-wake cycle. And interestingly, the sleep duration did not change between the groups. I take this one for sleep, and I love it. The second one is citrate, and this is also one of the most popular forms, and it's usually used to stimulate bowels and is particularly good for constipation. Yes, pooping is a vital component of health. Bloop. And finally, L-threonate. This one is my personal favorite. It is one of the most absorbed forms of magnesium, and in animal studies, this form of magnesium led to greater deposit of magnesium in the brain tissue, and some research suggests this is good for overall brain health, although research here is not strong. I can definitely feel a cognitive boost when I take the liposomal form of this, and liposomal just means it's in its most bioavailable form. There are others like magnesium sulfate, which is what Epsom salts are. They're great for baths to relieve body aches. And there are many supplements out there that are a synergistic combination of several forms of magnesium, which there is one that I really love.
The L-threonate.
Yeah.
That's the one that I know you've told me about that one a lot, and you love it.
Yeah.
And you said that it passes that blood-brain barrier, which makes it so bioavailable, right?
Yes.
Is that accurate?
That's right. Yes. Okay. And especially when it's in its liposomal form. And what liposomes are is they're delivery vehicles for transporting the substances into the body effectively by facilitating absorption directly in the mouth or by preventing breakdown by stomach acid. Shout out to Symbiotica. They have one of the best liposomal forms of magnesium L-threonate. It tastes like chocolate vanilla cream. So it's a nice dessert for me after breakfast. And I just feel such a boost before I go to work. And it gives me a mood boost. It makes me feel like my brain is functioning and firing on all cylinders. And I do notice a difference from when I don't take it to when I do. It might be placebo, but there's research
whatever
here.
Works.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that is,
I know. I
that
really
is my
want
love.
to try it.
I think you should. And
is it pricey?
It is.
Yeah.
I was going to say accessibility is a factor here. I think a 30-day supply is like $70, but if you are able, I find it to be very worthwhile. If I could skip out on a dinner one night a week, it's worth it for me.
Like, do you find and we have another episode where we'll talk about PMS and such, but do you find that there are just certain weeks or certain days where I know for me, there are just certain days or even weeks, maybe a week, not weeks, but like a week where I'm just like, God, I'm just not sharp or I'm not firing on all cylinders, and you just need something to help you with that,
Yes.
So even if you don't take it all the time,
right,
like that $70 can go far, right?
That's a really good point.
I mean, do you have to take it every day?
I absolutely not.
Okay.
And so on the weekends, I don't take it just so I can save some. But you might be talking about our luteal phase, which I know for me personally, the week before I get my period, I am foggy. So those might be the critical times that it can help you. But you should try it.
I think I might.
Yeah.
I know. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I was going to ask, what is your experience with magnesium?
So I've only tried what was the brand? I forget, but,
Bio Optimizers?
Yes. And I tried so for all of you listening, I was, for my entire life, I've prided myself on the fact that I put my head to the pillow and I am out all night. And I think that maybe having a dog has changed things for me because my little Ziggy, my little 9-pound Morky, sleeps with me. And I thought, oh, well, maybe if I get a bigger bed, he'll have more room and he'll spread out and he won't be under my arm as I'm sleeping and just always get in the way. But there has been, I don't know what the correlation is, but as I've gotten older, just especially in the last couple of years, I wake up a lot. Mm-hmm. It's not as easy for me to fall asleep. I've kind of struggled with it. And man, it's just so important to get a good night of sleep. It's everything. Like you hear this over and over again, right? Like diet, exercise, sleep.
Yep.
Right. And when I think of those three things, sleep is the easiest. Right.
Right.
And
the most enjoyable, in my opinion.
Yeah. And it's funny because I wonder, I don't know how much of it is genetic, but like my mom is like that. She still to this day goes to bed at like 2 a.m.,
Oh, right.
And it might have to do with the fact that we're wolves.
That's right. Your chronotype. Shout out.
So anyway, all that to say, I called my girl Angie and I was like, hey girl, what do I need to take? Like, tell me more about these magnesium types and which one should I be taking? What brand should I be taking? And of course, she was like, you need calcium glycinate. is it glycinate or glycinate? Some people call it glycinate. But
Yeah,
anyway,
I'm sure they do.
yes.
I think it's magnesium glycinate.
And so I just started taking it. And again, I don't know if it's placebo, but I feel like it worked.
Okay.
It helped me. I felt like I was more tired.
Yes.
And so I'll report back.
This is very exciting.
I'll keep taking it. I think I need to, I mean, obviously I haven't been consistent with it. I just need to take it like every night.
Yes.
So
that one I would say more consistent use is important because it has 7 different types of magnesium in it, including glycinate, including L-threonate, citrate. So it has apparently this balanced blend, and it builds up in your system the more consistently that you use it. And that one is great because it covers all areas, like all the benefits of magnesium versus it being just one type. So I take it about an hour before bed every night. That one's not a weekend off one.
Yeah. I think, and it's definitely more affordable, I would think. And so,
here's how I look at it. We're all probably deficient, the majority of us, right? Especially because of the soil that you were talking about being depleted. In my opinion and experience, it's better to be taking a good form of magnesium than not.
Yeah.
So whether that's, I don't know if you could get tested for it. I haven't been tested for it, but in my mind, it's better to take than not.
Especially ones that are bioavailable. I think that's
right.
a really big, like not all supplements are created equal.
Nope.
That is a fact.
Yep.
So you really do need to do your research or take the advice of people that you really trust.
Right.
And take the right brand.
Yes.
Yes.
And look into them, like a lot of brands tout like doing third-party testing. They actually have their own clinical studies. So yes, that means they're more expensive, but I would rather spend my money on something that I know has an impact on my body than just filler ingredients.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the off-the-shelf ones have. So you're right. Supplements are not created equal. They are also not FDA approved. Yeah. So you can bottle anything and call it a supplement.
Yeah. And I think it's fair to say that, so there are certain things we get. So I get tested when I go for a physical, right? Like most people will get tested for some of the same things, like a complete blood count or CBC.
Yep.
And so my doctor has been testing me for vitamin B12 and D for a number of years now. Particularly, I think living in the Midwest, like most of us are depleted of vitamin D. And so there is a significant change in my deficiency in that I have been taking vitamin D supplements and B12 supplements, right?
That's right.
So I go get the blood work done. Great. I'm no longer deficient.
Yes.
With other things, it's I guess a bit more challenging. But when I think about magnesium and why a lot of, I don't know, we've talked about this. I think I get frustrated sometimes, or I used to really get frustrated, not so much anymore, around this topic of why, when I ask my MD about certain supplements, I get the same response, which is, well, we don't have enough research to back that up, or it's not FDA approved, right? And so just because there isn't enough research to back it up, or if it isn't FDA approved, I think, this is my opinion, the FDA is in the business of making money.
Yes.
And supplements, you can't put a patent on magnesium or, like it's available to all of us. And so if it's not going to make you money, then you're not going to put a lot of time and effort and resources into doing research on that thing. Right. Unless maybe, if you're in India or in some like Eastern country, but not in the Western world.
That's right.
Is that fair to say?
I think so, yes.
And so when I think about supplements like magnesium, it's like, yes, it would be wonderful if we got enough of it from our foods, but also like a lot of us don't make the most healthy choices all the time, right? And so, yes, it would be wonderful if you could get the magnesium from nuts or soy or tofu or avocados.
Right.
Any of the nutrient-rich foods that I mentioned earlier. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
And from what we just said earlier, you can do the best that you can, right? And eat all those things. And the
Yeah.
unfortunate part is the way our farming industry has evolved, we are still depleted. So we can do all the right things and check all the boxes of what our doctor will say we need to be doing
Yeah.
and still be deficient. And one more thing I'm going to add is, don't quote me on this, but I believe there is a mineral test that we can do, like a mineral blood test, where you can test these levels with like a functional medicine doctor, a naturopath, and having that nice blend of Eastern and Western medicine coming together. I know that's where I get a lot of my recommendations is from my functional medicine doctor. And I can't tell you how much my MD misses when I talk to her about ways that I can optimize my health and the way that I feel.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, yeah, magnesium is great. It's a magical mineral. So sharing some additional facts about magnesium. Stress is known to have the potential to increase magnesium loss. And I know a lot of us are stressed out, so even more of a chance that you don't have enough magnesium. And according to research, magnesium deficiency can induce a wide range of clinical complications. So that includes painful muscle spasms, fibromyalgia, arrhythmia, osteoporosis, and migraines. They had a meta-analysis of randomized controlled trials with migraine patients receiving IV magnesium. There were 948 participants in that, or oral magnesium, which had 789 participants. And that resulted in reduced acute migraine attacks with less frequency and intensity of migraine. I feel like this could be a very prevalent thing for you.
Yeah, again, aging is great, y'all. No, I'm not from the South saying y'all, but I never had a migraine ever. And then, you know, in my 40s, I remember the first time I was out with my mom shopping and we were looking at sunglasses. I think we were in Nordstrom or something. And then we go to the Nordstrom cafe and we're having lunch and I couldn't read the menu. And like I got the ocular, you know, they call them ocular
Aura?
migraines, the aura.
Yeah.
Thank you. What's it called? And so I couldn't, it's like this, how would you describe? It's like this round thing. Like, what is that?
It's almost like it's
that illusion that you see.
like a circular, it's like the sun when you look at the sun.
Yeah. I mean, for those of you who know, you know, like there's this brown thing that and you can't see clearly. And so I'm looking at the menu and it's blurry and I legitimately cannot read this menu.
Wow.
And I'm like, Mom, can you see? It's the most terrifying feeling. I'm like, am I having a stroke? I can laugh about it now, but I'm like, literally, I'm like, is this a stroke?
Panic induced. Yeah.
I mean, I was pretty calm because I was with
course.
my mom and I didn't want to scare her, but I was like, what is happening right now? And then I think it was like 30 minutes later, I just had the most awful, I was nauseous, needed to be in a dark place. And so anyway, did some research and found that there's a high correlation between your menses and like PMS and migraines. I forget if it was more the luteal phase or if it was when you were actually menstruating, but there's a correlation to your hormones. And
wow.
They're not fun, you know, but I do feel like I have found certain correlations myself, like if I'm stressed or there's just certain things with like the light. I'm very sensitive to light, but
yeah.
Anyway.
Well, another tip I learned from TikTok, actually, many people have been saying if you submerge your feet in hot water for 15 minutes while you have a migraine, it helps it go away. How about you put Epsom salt, which is also magnesium.
Yes, girl.
In the hot water.
Oh my God.
Double whammy.
I'm doing that.
You should do that. I just thought of that.
Why didn't you tell me that earlier?
Because I just thought of it.
Girl,
That's
I've seen
great.
those.
Yeah.
I've seen those videos. But yes,
Worth a
adding
shot.
Epsom salt.
Right.
Genius.
So you're also getting magnesium through your feet.
I'm doing it.
Love it.
I'll report back.
Anyone that
I have a lot of reporting
suffers.
back.
We'll have a follow-up on Alina's health.
Yeah. I mean, anyone say it. Anyone who
Anyone who suffers from migraines, try this. Have hot water in the tub, add some Epsom salt, put your feet in there for at least 15 minutes, and hopefully watch your migraine drift away.
I love it.
Yeah.
Thank
It's
you.
worth a shot.
So the world's changed quite a bit as it relates to nutrients we were once able to absorb through our diets due to food source. And unfortunately, as we talked about earlier, with the risk of GMOs, fertilizers, processed foods, we're just getting further and further away from getting the nutrients and the minerals our bodies need and crave. And because we're not getting them, it's our responsibility to find other ways to nourish our bodies with them. And we hope that in having the knowledge around just one of the many minerals that our bodies need, that being magnesium here today, we hope that it helps you the way that it's helped us and others in the various trials and studies. And again, I think there's even more learning and helping. So thank you for helping me today, Angeline.
You're
with
welcome.
I love that idea. I'm definitely going to try it.
Yeah.
With the Epsom salt. But if you've tried any magnesium supplementation, let us know what's worked for you, what hasn't worked. We definitely would just love to hear from you.
Yes, please do. And so we always like to end our episodes with asking ourselves, what is bringing us joy? I can go first.
Yeah, I was going to say you go first.
Okay. So there is a show on Netflix called Fool Me Once, and it's with this actress who I am becoming more and more obsessed with. Her name is Michelle Keegan. And it's just such a good thriller, like a psychological thriller. It really, like, it was only in 8 episodes, but I remember like even being at work and just being so excited to end work so I could jump on my couch and watch the next episode. It just really has a great way of drawing you in. And I love this idea of trying to figure out what the mystery is as you're going through a show or a book. So yeah, I would say Fool Me Once, highly recommend on Netflix. It's bringing me a lot of joy. It's a good show.
It sounds like it would be like a romantic comedy.
I
think,
agree.
was it Fools Rush In? I think that's what I was thinking of with Selma Hayek and R.I.P. The guy from Friends. I'm so bad with names.
Me too.
We're both bad at this.
Matt? Can't remember. Chandler.
Yes,
No, it was Chandler, right?
It was Chandler.
Yeah, the Chandler of Friends.
Anyway, it's an old movie, but I guess I just thought, it'd be like a romantic comedy. But
Fool Me Once does sound like a romantic-ish movie because it's
fun.
like, men.
Fun.
But yeah, it's good. How about you?
I'd say like I was sick recently and that was not fun. And so I had to cancel some like outings with friends and then it was just a busy time. And so I got to see my friends this past weekend and we had game night and some tacos.
Aww.
And it just really filled my cup. I just miss them so much. And so I'm going into this week with my heart feeling really full.
I love that.
Yeah.
Community is everything. And I'm not surprised you have friends that really, really love you.
And I love them back.
Yes, that's beautiful. All right. Well,
that's all we've got for you today.
We'll see you next time on Tell Me More and Then Some.
Bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please rate and review to help us reach more listeners.
To learn more, make sure to follow us on all the socials at More and Then Some Pod.
Join us for new episodes every Wednesday on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Until next time, stay curious, learn more, and talk about it.